What to do, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're just having a great day. So I'm gonna be 100% honest. I kind of wish I was not making this video today, but my hand's been forced a little bit to move forward with this project, and that is the gates on the Ultimate Ranch entrance. Now, for those of you who followed along with that whole build, you guys know that I wanted to just build these big, beautiful, heavy gates that had like the ranch logo or ranch entrance or whatever we had decided to do. And the main reason that it got pushed back is because for gates that big, you need a serious gate opener system. And you're looking at the 10, 15, I think it even goes up to like the $20,000 range for gate openers to be able to handle something like that. So that project got pushed way to the back burner, and we just installed some very generic ranch style gates. So we went ahead and picked a kit up off of Amazon. We'll be showing you guys that in this video. I don't think it's gonna be crazy hard. I think it should be relatively straightforward. Hopefully I'm able to get everything working. I think there's gonna be a couple things that I need to pick up here and there. And as always, there may be some other stuff that makes its way into this video, like working on the fummins a little bit. And I actually just got back a little bit ago from picking up something super, super cool, which is gonna be a rad addition to the shop. Biggest thing we've gotten here by far. I'm gonna give you guys just a quick little hint. It's on the back of the Peterbilt right there. We'll give you guys 3 more seconds to look at it. And that's all you guys get. We're gonna leave a little bit of suspense hanging. So I'm not sure if you guys are able to tell what that was, but it's big. But I will give you guys one more hint. It's gonna go right here, right where the grader's sitting. And that's all you get. So anyhow, let's go ahead and jump on into this video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and let's roll.
Smaller battery. This one is definitely overkill.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't remember exactly how far away we're supposed to put all of this stuff. Because we already got everything up here, and we're kind of like focused on it. Might as well finish. So if it can't pick up the backhoe, which is like a huge chunk of iron, then we got problems. We know. All right, well now that we got the bucket switched out, digging should be way easier. All right, so everything's backfilled and pretty much compacted. Not that there's really a whole lot to compact. So there's gonna be a little bit of welding that goes on in today's video, and right now we are in the middle of a massive heat wave, and it is just gonna be roasting today. Right now it's still cool, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. We're gonna jump on the ride-on lawnmower. I'm gonna go cut all the weeds down that have grown up around the Ultimate Ranch entrance to try and help mitigate any possible fire hazards. We're definitely gonna be filling up the water truck too, because we want 0 chance of fire. But let me go ahead and get this thing started. I'm gonna go ahead and put on these sweet stunner shades that seem to have misplaced my Oakleys. So we got these gas station specials yesterday until I can find my Oakleys again. Cut around the post pretty good. There's not a whole lot left, but I actually just got a phone call and I gotta head into work, which is fine. I like work. So it shouldn't take me too long today. So when I get back, we'll go ahead and drag everything up and we'll start working on the fence again. All right, well, made it back to the ranch. It ended up being a little bit longer than I wanted to, but we're gonna have to detour just a little bit because we've actually got a couple fires going on. I think there's one, I don't know, it's in Mexico, but it's that way. And then I heard some other really weird stuff as I was getting diesel today, probably about 15 miles that way. There was a bunch of loud booms, smoke, and we're in the middle of a heat wave. And this is actually like right when the big fire that came through here a couple years ago started up. So because of that, we're gonna play it a little bit on the safe side. We are gonna take it up to the front of the property where I'm gonna fill it up with my RPS Solar Pump. Shameless plug, if you guys wanna check them out, I'll put a link somewhere. Super rad units, but after I get that done, we'll go ahead and come back down to the shop. We'll load up all the gate controllers and all the motors and all that stuff, and we'll take it up front, and we might get installed today. I got some other stuff that I might have to go pick up tonight. It's a pretty busy day, but let's go ahead and get the water truck up there and we'll get that thing filling up. All right, well, I don't think I need to be as nervous anymore. Not that like one water truck is gonna do like a whole lot combating any fires, but just puts my mind at ease a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my way back down to the shop. We'll get all the boxes opened up. Hopefully we have everything and we can get this knocked out pretty quick. So there may be a little bit of background noise. I'm gonna go ahead and leave my truck running because we got the AC going, because it is just blazing out here. So to start off with, we have the wireless vehicle sensor. We'll go ahead and set that on the tailgate. Let's see what's next. We have a premium remote transmitter, another premium remote transmitter. And I think that's all in box number 1. And here in box number 2, we have the outdoor mounting pedestal. And then we have a premium wireless keypad, water resistant remote transmitter, and then a standard remote transmitter. Then I'm assuming this is the bulk of the kit, This is the Ghost Controls TDS 2K heavy duty dual automatic gate opener. Swing gates up to 24 feet, which I think is pretty much exactly what we have. So we're gonna go ahead and put this up on the tailgate, open it up. All right, let's go ahead and open this thing up. We got a couple staples in it. It's a little bit on the heavier duty side of things, or serious glue. Yeah, that is some mega glue. All right, so here we have the control panel. Assuming that's just hardware, more hardware. We have another standard remote transmitter, another remote transmitter, 110 power supply. Well, we do not have 110 up there, so that's cool. Here are the gate motors. Looking not too shabby. And I think that's it as far as the actual gate controls go. So we'll go ahead and take all this extra fluff out. Oh, what's this? There's more stuff. More mounting hardware and wires with a fuse. And I think these are instructions. Yes, we do have instructions. All right, let's go ahead and make our way up front. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and play it safe. I'm gonna go ahead and drag this hose over there. We are going to soak that area because check this out, guys. Fire right on the other side of that hill. So we are gonna try and avoid that out here at the ranch today and not add another fire for everybody to worry about. So the amount of welding and grinding that we're gonna be doing really is pretty minimal today. You guys can see these two lines that I have etched out right there. Basically, I'm just going to grind off a square like that, get it nice and smooth, clean metal, and then where those two lines are is gonna be the only spot where there's weld. So realistically, we're looking at about 5 minutes of hot work. So you guys can see that we have this area wet down pretty good. I think we're gonna be safe, and after we're done welding, I'll go ahead and soak it one more time just to avoid any problems, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this ground down. All right, so you guys can see we got a nice clean spot right here to go ahead and weld our bracket to. We're gonna go ahead and fire up the trusty old Predator. Battery is dead on it though, so we do have to crank start it, which not the end of the world, but it's been sitting for probably about a year or so. Put some fresh gas in it, fired right up. So should not be too hard to get it going again. You guys can see it's been sitting in the sun for a while. We'll go ahead and choke it. So I didn't bring any levels or any tape measures up with me, and we're just gonna go ahead and eyeball it. But I pretty much eyeballed everything when I put this together anyways, and this is not gonna be a hard one to line up with my eyes. So we're gonna go ahead and tack it in place, and I will double check it, make sure it looks nice. I'm not gonna put it up there like super hokey. I will make sure it looks somewhat presentable, but let me go ahead and get this thing tacked in place. Well, so far looking pretty good. There's only one accomplishment today that I'm concerned about, and that is not starting a fire. And we seem to have done that over here. So I'm gonna soak it down one more time before we leave to make sure that there's absolutely 0% chance of any like hot spots or embers or anything starting a fire later on while we're asleep. So we're gonna go ahead and repeat the same song and dance over here. I'm gonna go ahead and soak this down a little bit more. It's dried up just a little bit in that 10 minutes that we've been working. So I'm gonna hit this one more time, then we'll grind this spot right here and weld that bracket right there also. All right, guys, well, that's about all I got time for today. I'll be back up here bright and early tomorrow morning, but we did get that bracket welded on, we got that bracket welded on, and we got 0 fire started. So kind of a big relief because that's the only hot work that we had to do on this entire project. Everything else is nuts and bolts, so I will see you guys again tomorrow morning. So we're gonna go ahead and make our way back up towards the front of the property. And we're not gonna need the welder today, but eventually I do need to do just a little bit more welding up there. I'm gonna build like a separate pedestal to hold the keypad mount. The one that they sent, it's okay, but doesn't really match what we got going on. So I'll probably build my own and then put like an old rusty looking housing that actually covers this part. And that way it just kind of blends in with the rest of the gate up there. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the trailer so I don't have to drive around with this thing all day. So technically it's not as hot today, but boy, is it muggy up here. So we're gonna try and get this knocked out relatively quick. I'm hoping that we can finish today. And as I'm looking at this, we're gonna have to do a little bit of trenching. So I'm gonna have to go and borrow my father-in-law's backhoe to, I think we're probably gonna trench out just a little bit over here, and then we'll run across the driveway that way, and then come in a little bit. I don't know that I wanna just go like straight to straight, pole to pole, because I don't wanna damage the integrity of how these things are actually sitting. And this pole actually settled a little bit from when we installed it. It's gonna be kind of hard to tell, but you guys can see this pipe right here, how it kind of droops just a little bit. So this actually went down about an inch after we placed it. So it's not a whole lot I can do other than maybe one day we could lift it up a little bit and like fill that with concrete, but I don't think it's gonna cause an issue. And when I hung the gates, it had already sunk and they line up perfectly. We're just gonna leave it. You can't notice anything up there. Metal does bend, so it is what it is. But anyways, as far as all the controls go, we are going to be mounting the keypad on this side, obviously, so that as you come in, the driver can punch the keypad in and the gates will open up, which means I think this one has the shorter control cable. So this one's gonna get mounted on that side. Then you guys see this one has a much longer cable. And what would actually be really cool, and I thought about doing this, was picking up some more of this stuff and actually just running it up, over, and back down. And then we wouldn't have to do any trenching at all. But we got rodents upon rodents up here, and I'm almost certain that they would find a way to get in there and chew my wires up, and then I would have to redo it. So we are gonna try and put everything in the ground so that way that nothing can be affected. So the mounting hardware on this is pretty cool. You guys can see we have the 1 bolt right here. You got a little spacer, you got these 2 tabs right here, and you have all of these holes right here, so you can basically rotate this to wherever you want to mount the motor. I'm gonna go ahead and try this spot right there. I don't know what the advantages are to like having it farther that way or that way, but we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll do a couple test runs, and then if it doesn't work, we will adjust accordingly. So hand tools are nice, but we're gonna try and speed this up a little bit. I'm gonna run down to the shop and get a battery powered impact real quick, or maybe just my battery powered ratchet, but something that's just a little bit faster. We're gonna go ahead and bring both. All right, so we got both gate openers mounted. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. We got 2 clamps on this one, but I think I actually set this one a little bit too far that way. We're gonna go ahead and bring it in a little bit more because it doesn't quite line up with that one. Not the end of the world. I'll adjust that later. We are gonna run over and check the water truck right now. As far as the water truck goes, I think we're looking pretty good to go ahead and shut it off. We're like almost 2/3 the way. And I would not say this water truck is 100%, so I've never filled it all the way up because I don't think those tires can handle it. So we're gonna go ahead and shut it down and go ahead and get back to work. All right, guys, this heat wave is bad for business. We got another fire right on the other side of the hill over there, and just thanking our lucky stars that it's not our valley again. So definitely gonna take every precaution in the world to not start fires in the next couple of days, because I think we got another 2 or 3 days of this heat wave. I know yesterday was supposed to be the hottest day, but it's still hot. I think my truck said it was 110 right now. So anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and wire up the first operator, which is gonna be this guy right here. And it's pretty nice. It shows you what colors you guys have right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get these wired up. You wanna do it or you want me to do it?
We'll do it.
Okay. So red is the first one. Go ahead and back that out a little bit. If you're familiar with automatic gate openers, typically they have a much smaller battery. This one is definitely overkill. Gate openers usually have a battery that's like somewhere along the lines of this size. And as you guys can tell, we got quite the size difference. So is it overkill? Yes, but it's what we have. And honestly, I probably paid the same for this battery as I would have paid for a new smaller one like that. And then if this one is good, don't really have to worry about any duty cycles. I don't have to worry about the batteries getting weak if people are coming in and out all day. As long as the solar charger can keep up with it, we should be okay. But I'm gonna go ahead and check the voltage on this real quick just before we go up there, just to make sure. And we got 12.8, we're good. So If you guys can ever get your hands on some batteries like this, typically they are a little bit on the higher quality side of things because companies that run these things have some very high dollar equipment that's usually on the back end of it. So they'll usually spend a little bit of extra money to buy like higher quality stuff. So I could be totally wrong, but that's just my thought process. So anyhow, we got a killer battery. We're gonna go ahead and take it up to the top after I make a little set of cables for it. Got to put some terminals on it so we can actually connect it to the controller. And then once we get up there, it should be pretty quick from there. So typical James, I left my cable that we need to go from the battery to the controller down in the shop. And there's a couple other things I'm gonna grab while we're down there. Gonna go ahead and swap the screwdriver out with one that does not have a junky tip on it so we can get a nice good connection with those. So I spent forever making my own battery cable, and turns out they send you with one. Makes it way easier. It's actually a lot longer too, which is actually gonna end up working out great because we're gonna end up moving everything right here. So the longer the cable, the better. But basically you have these two little fittings right here, and they go in with those little fittings right there. And you actually have a fuse to protect yourself. And I may have to open this up a little bit because I don't know if those are gonna stretch far enough, but we'll find out. There's just one little issue with this thing. These connectors did not want to go together in any way, shape, or form. I had to trim this one back a little bit to get this one to slide in. And it's still, I don't know if it's in all the way, but I think it's in far enough. I mean, this one just like whoop, went right in, clicked, nice and easy. This one just not happening. All right, well, my hat's off to everybody that lives in Arizona because this toolkit right here, the lid was closed and these are still too hot to touch. And I feel like I'm kind of being a sissy right now because I know in Arizona it's even hotter, but we do have power hooked up. I went ahead and taped the heck out of that. We got it kind of tucked up behind it. There is an on switch down here. This is the antenna. I'm not sure if you're supposed to like do that. I don't know, we'll leave that alone, but we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Oh, okay, we got beeps. Battery conditions orange. I don't know what that means. I guess I should look at the instructions.
It means like it has like half the battery in it.
I think you got chocolate all over your face.
No.
Half the battery, you guys heard him. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading the instructions and trying to figure out how to do this legitimately. And then I think overall it should be pretty quick, but after we're done for today, I'm gonna go get a sheet of plywood to like lean over this because with how hot it is, it legitimately might do damage to this battery. So we do wanna get it in the shade. All right, so we got power. We can jog close. And this one is for the first motor, which you guys can see we have hooked up right here. So as we hit this, you guys can see that it starts closing the gate. Hopefully your motorcycle's not on the way. Just barely. All right. Looking pretty good. Nice and slow. Go a little bit more. A little more. What do you think? A little more?
No.
No?
Looks
I think so. Oh, no, that is pretty good. We'll go ahead and leave that there for now. All right, so I've got everything pretty much set up. We got our limits set. That motor obviously is not connected yet, so it's just kind of dangling in the wind. But this one is working pretty good. We've got one of the controls hooked up to it. Let's see, which one is it? Oh, did I lose it already? Gosh, dang it. The one thing I am having a hard time with though is, where did I put it? So the one thing that I am struggling with a little bit is getting all of the remotes to work. I can only get one to work. As soon as I try to teach or have the other ones learn, they just like never copy what this one's doing. So this one does open it. You guys can see it's got its little safety beeps or whatever. Then I have it set to, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, somewhere around there. So it opens up, does a pretty good job. It'll hang out here for just a little bit. So right there we reached our limit, shuts down nicely. Everything's pretty smooth so far. I'm pretty happy. And we're gonna go ahead and wait a little bit and then it'll start to close in just a second. goes. Losing our instructions. And neato. So it works pretty good. I'm pretty happy. I just need to figure out how to copy all of the other remotes to this remote so that we don't only have one functioning remote. I'm coming to find out the keypad does not come with batteries. So I need to pick up a couple C batteries so that we can get that thing working too for visitors and whatnot. As far as work goes on the gate today, I think we're just about there. I still have a long ways to go. We got to do the trenching, we got to place the conduit, we got to set the vault in the ground. There's a lot of stuff that we got to do to keep this pretty, but as far as having a functional gate goes, we're there. For the past 1.5 years, 2 years, we've just been doing this by hand, chaining it up. So I am pretty excited to have this. I'm just gonna go home and try and figure out how to imitate all of these things, figure out what I'm doing wrong. I've been reading the instructions for about 10 minutes and just cannot figure it out. So we're gonna go ahead and button all this up enough. I'm still just gonna leave the battery hanging out for now, but I'm gonna get everything wrapped up, cleaned up. Then I gotta head down to the shop because we got Brad coming over. He's gonna be bringing over a couple things, taking a couple things, and we may pull the engine today. I'm not 100% sure yet, but as far as the gate goes, we are done, and I'll see you guys back down in the shop. All right, so as far as the foam is concerned, there's not a whole lot going on today. We're just gonna be disassembling these turbos. Where are they headed again?
Illinois.
Illinois.
Get rebuilt.
Turbo Master Deluxe in Illinois. But we're taking the compressor housing off of this one, and then the other one is just getting, it's staying the same, it's just being redone, right?
Yeah, just rebuilt.
Yeah.
We're gonna smack the China out of it.
So anyhow, we're almost done taking this one off. Not sure what's going on over there. But
Having a Fiesta.
what's that?
Having a Fiesta.
Turbo Fiesta.
This one got a little hot, so protesting. Got it.
Dude, I'm surprised this thing's spooled. That is rough. Feel how much resistance there is on that thing.
Let's see. I don't want to damage this one. Oh yeah. So
I mean, that's rough.
yeah, I pulled the air filter off, whichever one has the filter on it, and it would be idling. It wouldn't spin. It would be like, it would be twitching.
Yeah, this is not smooth. Whew. All right, so we got everything mounted up. Well, as temporarily permanent as it can be. We got the zip ties, but I actually kind of like the way that looks a little bit. I may weld some sort of like rusty cover over this, but let's go ahead and give it a quick test. Make sure that everything's 100% before we go ahead and walk away. I know you guys want to know the code, but I'm really sorry, can't give it to you. But it does work, and this does have a timeout. So right now you guys can see that the gate's opening. If I hit any button on here, it makes it stop. And if I hit it again, you guys can see it sends another signal. And it's literally any button that you push on here will change what the gate is doing. So as soon as this times out, it ceases all communication with the controller, and then it just quits working. So I don't know how long it takes to time out. I think it's about 20 seconds after you type in the code that it decides to quit communicating with the control panel. So we're gonna go ahead and get this going again. So that's one more thing checked off the list. We got the keypad up front. I guess the next thing we need to do is bury the let me get out sensor. We have in the back of the Ranger, it's a little probe that goes underneath the ground. So as you're coming up, it detects the vehicle, sends a pulse to open the gate up. It's this guy right here. Well guys, I was gonna start digging, but turns out I need even more C batteries. The keypad up there requires C batteries. And as I'm taking this apart, we need more C batteries. And I did not bring any up with me. So let me run back home. We're gonna go ahead and see if this actually works. There's a little bit of programming that you have to do with this thing also. And then we'll probably call it a day. I don't know that I'll get it 100% installed because you got to do some digging. And the sun's getting down and I got to feed the animals. So I do want to get everything programmed and working though. So I'm going to run back down, grab some more batteries, and then we'll see if we can actually get it in the ground. But we went ahead and brought my father-in-law's back over here to do a little bit of trenching. And then as soon as we're done, we'll probably take it back. We're not gonna need much to do it. Just a shovel to help clean the trench out. Then the bucket that's on here is way overkill, but sure beats digging by hand. I might actually change the bucket out because it has the one with like a steel plate on it for cleaning trenches. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't remember exactly how far away we're supposed to put all of this stuff, but I do know that like if the transmitter's right here, it is able to reach the control panel and that it does work correctly. So I think we're gonna try and keep the transmitter somewhere close to this tree, and then that means I just have to dig a trench to actually bury the sensor kind of somewhat close to the driveway so that it can pick up the vehicles as they drive by. So for anybody that saw my YouTube short, you're already aware that my GoPro fell off of the console right here and it actually got stuck underneath the outrigger at some point in time, and it's still working. And to be honest, I'm pretty impressed that it's still working. So having said that, this dirt is just rock hard, and that's the reason I'm bouncing around so much, is because I obviously don't have the right bucket on there. So we're getting it a little bit wet. I'm pretty much where I need to be. I just have a little spot over there that I got to clean out. So like I had said earlier, I'm pretty sure that there was a water line that ran right here, and well, there is. And I think I avoided not breaking it. I think I was gentle enough. You guys can see I did pull on it just a little bit right there. We're gonna go ahead and clean the rest of this out by hand. So I thought I was being a smooth operator. Turns out I'm not. I ended up breaking it, which is okay because I actually wanted to change up the water system on these trees anyways. They're on a drip system and the squirrels and rabbits just destroy it. So I'm going to be in the near future trenching to each individual tree, coming up with its own little bubbler. So this is just going to expedite that process on this one tree. But as far as the actual backhoe work goes, we're just about there. Not really a whole lot more to do other than clean it up. I will bring a scoop of DG up here to help backfill around it with nice soft material that compacts nicely, help protect the cable and the sensor. I may put some of it in conduit. I haven't decided yet, but as far as what we got going on right now, I'm gonna go ahead and run into town. We're gonna pick up a water meter or a water valve box to go ahead and bury everything, and then we can go ahead and trench across the street. So originally I was only gonna finish half of it yesterday and come back and do it another day, but I figured since we've already got everything up here and we're kind of like focused on it, might as well finish. And I was gonna run into town to buy one of these, and I still might, because this one's in pretty bad shape. Would it work? Maybe. All right, guys, well, we just got back to the ranch. There has been a severe change in the weather since we left, and it's looking like we might get some rain. There's been a lot of thunder and lightning going on. Oh, and I just felt a raindrop. We're gonna keep working anyways.
Oh, snap.
We are going to avoid touching the entrance right now, seeing as that's like a huge lightning rod. We're gonna go ahead and step back a little bit and come focus on this over here for a second. You good with that?
Yep.
All right. So the summer thunderstorms never last that long out here. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a scoop of DG. We're gonna switch out the bucket on the back, and then maybe by the time we get back up there, the lightning will have subsided a little bit and we don't have to worry about getting curly haired too bad. It would appear that I have been sorely mistaken. It's actually raining pretty good right now. And I almost watered my trees this morning. Kind of glad I didn't. All right, well now that we got the bucket switched out, digging should be way easier. Digging through that dirt this morning, which was just like rock hard with that scraper plate on it, not happening. So we're gonna make our way back up to the top. The rain is starting to ease up just a little bit, but it's definitely good for dust control because it was so bad out here. Well, it's still raining. What do you think we should do?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's up to you.
It's up to me? You wanna hang out under the canopy still, or should we get to work?
I don't know.
Well, what would you do if you were me?
Up to him.
But that's not what I'm asking. What would you do if you were me?
Get to work.
Get to work?
because it could get way worse.
It could get worse.
So
All
we
right.
should enjoy the time we have right now.
Okay, we're gonna get to work. All right, so I found the numbers that I needed. And basically we can't go more than 100 feet away from the control panel, which I don't think we are. And then the sensor probe has to be at least 20 feet from where the gate opens. All right, so on the drawing, it just shows the cable going like straight into the ground. And with how the equipment's set up, there's like a little bit that's gonna have to be like direct burial. But like I said, we got squirrels upon squirrels and rabbits out here. We're gonna try and avoid any possible damage to that wire. So we are still gonna put some of it in conduit. Would you mind grabbing me a couple of those sticks over there?
Yes, sir.
And bringing them down so we can get them cut and put in place? So for some reason, I thought the wire was a lot longer. Maybe because I thought 20 feet from the fence, I don't know. We've only got about 10 feet of it, maybe 11. That's a 10-foot stick of pipe. So what we're gonna do, that piece of plastic is actually resting on top of that piece of pipe. Realistically, I could put an elbow on it, but I don't think we're going to. So we're gonna go ahead and just bury that, and then hopefully it doesn't rub against each other. Hopefully nothing moves around. I think we're gonna be pretty good. If we can have that be stationary, fill it, I think it's gonna be better than what it would have been, direct burial. So let me go ahead and get that filled up. So as far as being directional, it does not really matter too much where you actually put the probe. It just says that it needs to be parallel to the driveway. You guys can see we got this little diagram right here. It does say that it needs to be approximately 12 inches deep, parallel to the ground surface. So are we 12 inches deep? I don't think we're quite there, but we are actually gonna bring this up eventually with a little bit more gravel. So I think when all is said and done, it will be about 12 inches deep. So we're gonna go ahead and bury this. We're gonna get it covered up, and then we're gonna do our little test run. Then we're gonna be on to the next part of it where we need to trench across the driveway. So pretty much no one in or out until we finish. So let's go ahead and get this buried. We'll get it all covered up, and then we'll do our little test run.
I see something cool, man. Yay!
All right, so everything's backfilled and pretty much compacted. Not that there's really a whole lot to compact, it's just a couple inches deep, but we're just going over it a couple times. We got everything soaked down pretty good, so it gets in there nice and tight. And I guess the only thing left to do is turn the gate on and see if the actual sensor works. The hindsight's always 20/20. Kind of wish I'd have actually placed it farther back, so that way I didn't have to wait as long at the gate for it to open, but I think it's still gonna end up being okay. So let's go ahead and do our little test. Watch out, buddy. So if it can't pick up the backhoe, which is like a huge chunk of iron, then we got problems. We know we did something wrong, but let's see. Well, that's not good. I literally just drove over the top of it and it still didn't pick it up. Well, looks like I got a little bit of figuring out to do. I hope I don't dig this thing up and just realize that I like completely just decimated the sensor. It is possible. Well, everything is on, so we're gonna go ahead and start troubleshooting. Really wish I didn't have to do this, but you know, not perfect, guys. So let's see what's going on here. All right, well, it turns out the whole time that thing is very sensitive to how high it is placed, and it needs to be like within plain sight of the control panel, which also gives me a couple other issues now, because I was planning on putting the control panel in the ground So we're gonna have to tread lightly over there. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. We might do the box like half in the dirt, half above ground with the antenna above ground. I don't know, we'll see. Not very impressed with, I just had to lift that up 3 inches and everything started working, so. Oh well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're gonna go ahead and trench from that side to this side real quick. To do that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn everything off. We're gonna get both the gates opened all the way up so I can try to trench. It's gonna be a little bit tricky with these poles and getting the machine lined up. This is where I wish I still had one of my mini excavators, but it's not the end of the world. We'll still get it done. All right, well, now that we got some sunlight out here, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what we actually accomplished last night. So we have the vault, or the water meter box, or whatever you wanna call that, set down in the ground to pretty much ground level. I may adjust that slightly, not 100% sure yet, but all the wires are tucked up nicely into this pole right here. They come out up into the control panel box, and it's the same thing on the other side. The gate motor actually goes into the pole and then it kicks out, runs underneath. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish backfilling all of this, get all the junk cleaned up, and then you guys, we are done with this project, and it's been a long time coming. It's needed to happen. I'm gonna go ahead and try and get this cranked out before the sun comes up over the hill. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but the shade line is actually right there, so I don't have too long. I don't think I'll accomplish it, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to work. All right, well, as far as the Ultimate Ranch entrance goes, we officially have electronic gate openers. And my opinion of the Ghost Controls setup is pretty good. As of right now, I would recommend them. I'll do a follow-up in another year or so and let you guys know what I still think about them. We'll see if they're still working as good as they are right now. And if you guys want to check them out, I'll put a link down below so you guys can head on over to Amazon and see what they're all about. I do need to bring in a couple loads of rock to go ahead and make it like exactly like I want it. But as far as the actual gate project goes, we are done. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws this video. Everything turned out super rad. So if you guys could do me a huge solid like, subscribe, share this with your amigos, hit that notification button down below so you guys can continue to see the progress with whatever else we got going on. And I think in probably 2 or 3 videos, you guys will see what I had behind the Peterbilt. Super rad. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Later.